billionaire CEO married with twins.
So known.
Why did his
Warm,
heart
little
race
one.
when the poor nanny bathed them? Emily Reyes gently bathed two tiny boys in a worn metal tub.
What is going on here?
Sunlight dancing over their giggles.
How could you bathe
She
them
poured
like
water
animals?
over Leo's head, while Liam splashed joyfully,
Mr. Carter,
completely
please, I was
unaware
only trying to
that
help.
Benjamin Carter, their billionaire
Pack your
father,
things.
had arrived
Leave
early.
my house. Now.
Shock froze him in place as he saw his son soaked under the open sky. Fury
I only wanted to
surged.
protect them.
How could you bathe them like animals? Emily trembled, clutching the twins, her only offense being
She didn't
care
do
and
anything
love.
wrong. I saw
Without a
everything.
word, Benjamin demanded she
You've
leave.
been the best thing for them.
Heartbroken Emily cast one last glance at the tub, tears silently trailing down. Only Harold, the devoted gardener, understood. "She has done nothing wrong," he whispered. And in that fragile moment, a thread of hope shimmered, hinting that this story of loss, anger, and misunderstanding might still find healing. The Silver Hills mansion lay quiet in the soft morning light. The nursery was expansive, its polished wooden floors reflecting scattered toys. At first glance, peace seemed to reign, yet the space held loneliness and emptiness. Every detail, from the crumpled blanket to the slightly dusty stuffed animals, told the story of children waiting for care, love, and protection. Emily Reyes, 26, entered the room. Her brown hair tied neatly, a simple white shirt, and jeans, she carried warmth and her own quiet light. Gently, she bent down to lift Leo, wiping away the remnants of sleep from his eyes. Liam waved his hand, giggling, as she sprinkled warm water over his head. Every gesture from Emily radiated attentive care, gentle yet resolute. She offered not only physical care, but a sense of safety and wholehearted love, a presence the room had long lacked. Benjamin Carter, 38, CEO, stepped in from the doorway. In a dark suit, his posture, stern eyes tense, yet revealing deep concern, he paused, watching Emily and the children from a distance. Part of him sensed the serenity in this scene, yet another part struggled to fully grasp it. The contrast of power control and tender love was clear in Benjamin's gaze, a wealthy, lonely man confronted with a sudden moment that sent his heart racing. Emily gently set Liam down, still holding Leo's hand, singing softly while soothing him. Small gestures, yet powerful, the tender touches, warm smiles, gentle breaths made the children smile safely and happily. The audience could feel her quiet sacrifice, her absolute kindness, and the potent strength of love. Despite the wide, chilly room, this moment overflowed with warmth and emotional connection, signaling a fateful encounter about to unfold, one that could change not only the children's lives, but also Benjamin's heart. Chapter 1. A Fateful Morning. Early morning at the Silver Hills mansion, sunlight filtered through the trees, casting gentle beams over the dew-laden grass. The vast garden, meticulously trimmed, usually radiated peace, but today, the light reflected off the leafy canopy in shimmering patterns, signaling that a day of upheaval was about to unfold. Emily Reyes, 26, with her brown hair neatly tied, dressed in a simple white shirt and jeans, bent over an old metal tub placed in the garden. She carefully poured warm water from a bucket over Leo's head. The rhythmic splashing echoed in the morning air, mingling with Liam's delighted giggles as he clapped his hands against the water. Emily wiped the last remnants of sleep from Leo's eyes softly, humming a gentle tune, striving to make the children feel safe and warm. Her gestures were small, yet filled with love. She stroked Leo's back, soothed him when he cried, adjusted the towel wrapped around him, and every gentle smile she offered seemed to make the sunlight through the leaves highlight a moment of tranquility amidst the quiet morning. For Emily, bathing the children in this old metal tub wasn't inconvenient or unusual. It was necessary care. The water in the house had been shut off since the day before, and she didn't want the boys to get rashes or catch a cold. Every action came from the heart, without a shred of calculation. As Emily focused on the children, no one realized that Benjamin Carter, Father 38 tech millionaire and CEO, was quietly driving his electric car along the cobblestone path toward the mansion. He had just finished a tense meeting with investors, his mind heavy with pressure and fatigue. Stepping out of the car, Benjamin heard unusual sounds. Children, laughing, water splashing, but he could never have anticipated the scene that would freeze him in place, his heart racing uncontrollably. Benjamin circled the mansion, his footsteps soft on the stone path. When he saw Emily bending over the metal tub in the garden water, cascading over the bare children in the morning sun, it felt as though someone had gripped his heart tightly. "What?" he muttered, his deep voice edged with anger. His face flushed, eyes blazing. He had never seen a sight that shocked and enraged him simultaneously. Leo and Liam, 18 months old, splashed and laughed without a care in the world, yet to Benjamin, the scene seemed dangerous, almost unbearable. He strode toward Emily, his footsteps splashing lightly on the stones like a heartbeat speeding up. Emily, still holding the two children, looked up at him, eyes wide with fear and silent plea. But Benjamin didn't understand the situation yet. He roared, "What the hell are you doing with my kids?" His shout tore through the garden, shattering the morning calm, making the leaves and grass tremble. Leo and Liam panicked, wailing in fear. The earlier laughter vanished, replaced by screams of terror. Emily forced a reassuring smile, attempting to calm them, but she could not hide her own fear. "Mr. Carter, I can explain, please," she pleaded, voice trembling. She clutched the boys tightly, heart pounding, knowing everything was about to change instantly. Benjamin stepped closer, eyes locked on the metal tub face, blazing with anger. "Do you think my sons are animals? How could you bathe them like this?" His voice shook with fury. Emily held the children closer, eyes brimming with tears. "The water's been shut off since yesterday. I didn't want them to get rashes. I brought clean water from the neighbor's well." She explained her words, seemingly swallowed by Benjamin's rage. In that moment, the vast mansion garden felt suffocating, heavy with tension. Benjamin, a man who had commanded million-dollar deals, felt powerless before a scene that stirred both anger and fear. "Pack your things. Get out of my house. I never want to see you near my children again," he ordered, his voice cold, leaving Emily no chance to defend herself. Emily froze, still holding the children, feeling as if her whole world had collapsed. The children cried relentlessly, fear and confusion spreading through the air. She lowered her head, tears streaming silently, heart breaking into pieces. "Please, at least let me dress them. It's cold," she murmured. But Benjamin remained unmoved. He wrapped the children in towels and hurried inside, footsteps heavy, never once looking back. Emily turned, gazing at the still warm tub, memories of caring for the boys flooding her mind, gentle mornings, Sweet giggles, quiet tears. Harold the gardener, who had served the family for over 15 years, stepped out, his expression filled with sorrow. "Emily, my dear, this is so unfair," he said, voice deep, yet full of understanding. Emily nodded, embracing Harold like the only family she had left. "I know I did nothing wrong," she whispered. The scene, a simple young woman, unjustly dismissed, while holding two children, standing in a luxurious garden, created a soft yet powerful climax, stirring deep emotions. The audience could feel both injustice and empathy for Emily's silent suffering. Leo and Liam became symbols of unconditional love and loyalty, while Benjamin, despite his wealth and power, confronted the limits of control and trust. Emily quietly stepped into the small room behind the mansion, still clutching her suitcase, tears trailing down her face. She glanced one last time at the metal tub, a reminder of the sacrifice and devotion she had given the children. Each step on the gravel echoed like a pained heartbeat, a reminder that love and kindness are not always recognized, and the path to acknowledgement is often fraught with challenge. This moment, the mix of shock, anger, crying children, and Emily's unjust dismissal, laid the foundation for the entire story, a journey of healing, redemption, and love that transcends the boundaries of wealth about to unfold, drawing the audience into the next chapters with rich, compelling emotion. Chapter 2: When the House Was Devoid of Love. After Emily left the Silver Hills mansion, suddenly felt cold in a way Benjamin had never experienced before. The tall walls, the soft yellow glow from the ceiling lights, and the scattered toys that once made the house feel like a home, now offered only heavy silence. The nursery was empty, except for two cribs side by side, where Leo and Liam struggled with discomfort, missing the familiar care they had grown used to. Benjamin Carter, 38, CEO, stood in the nursery, surveying the room with a growing sense of helplessness. The confident steps he once took in boardrooms closing million-dollar deals now felt clumsy and weak. He realized the children needed more than someone who simply followed schedules or applied professional skills. They needed love, true, wholehearted care. Emily had provided that, but now the mansion was empty, echoing only with the children's cries. Benjamin had contacted 3 of the city's most reputable nanny agencies, seeking caregivers with degrees, experience, and perfect child-rearing skills. The first was a 40-year-old woman, calm, polite watch ticking neatly on her wrist, notebook in hand. She followed every management technique by the book bath at 7 a.m., breakfast at 8, nap at 9. But Leo and Liam refused to cooperate. The children panicked, screamed when touched, refused to eat, even rejected bottles. After only 2 days, the first nanny gave up, shaking her head, muttering, "These children have serious behavioral issues. They might need medical intervention." The mansion descended into chaos. The second nanny arrived young, energetic, but inexperienced. She panicked when one of the boys vomited milk, unsure how to soothe him, running around seeking help. Within a week, 4 nannies had come and gone, each leaving behind an empty room and the endless cries of the children. Benjamin watched, hands clenched into fists. He, a CEO who had managed hundreds of employees and negotiated with cold-blooded investors, was utterly powerless before 2 children. He looked at Leo, curled in the crib stomach, frothy with milk eyes, full of resentment and disappointment. Liam moaned, face red, hands balled into fists, body trembling. Benjamin realized that all wealth, all power, meant nothing in the face of the force of love and care. Through the night, the cries echoed throughout the mansion, mixed with the occasional drip of water from the bathroom. Benjamin wandered from room to room, checking every detail: bottles, towels, room temperature, cribs, but nothing could soothe Leo and Liam. A growing sense of helplessness consumed him. Part of him wanted to call Emily back immediately, but pride and his recent anger held him back. The children were not only physically uncomfortable, but emotionally wounded. Emily's absence, the source of their security, had left them fearful and restless. Benjamin witnessed scenes he had never experienced before: children terrified at the sound of footsteps, screaming at the sight of strangers, even turning away or fleeing when a new nanny tried to hold them. Every rule, every schedule, every professional skill failed against the love that had been built before. He urgently called Dr. Felix Rivera, the pediatrician who had followed the boys since birth. After examining them, the doctor shook his head, voice grave. Benjamin Emily's absence has caused severe separation anxiety. They are not just physically affected. The children are under serious emotional stress. Their immune systems are impacted too. A minor cold could develop into pneumonia. The doctor's words struck Benjamin like a hammer to his pride and reason. He stood frozen, heart-racing, hands trembling. Every cry from the cribs reminded him that love and care could not be replaced with money or sheer skill. He realized Emily was not merely an employee. She was the one who brought life, comfort, and happiness to the children. Throughout the night, Benjamin wandered the mansion, noticing every detail. Emily had cared for: soft towels, neatly arranged toys. The children scribbled drawings on the study table. Each detail recalled her gentle, patient presence, deepening the pain in his heart. Meanwhile, the children struggled and cried, fists clenched, turning away from the efforts of new nannies. Leo and Liam, who had never been apart from Emily, now felt lost in the cold, empty room. Benjamin watched each tear fall from their cheeks, each weak moan, each desperate gaze. He knew that no one but Emily could heal this wound. Yet pride, ego, and fear held him back. Benjamin understood he had made a mistake firing her, but admitting it now would erase the authority he had maintained over both family and business. He paused in the nursery, took a deep breath, felt the heavy silence, and thought silently, "What can I do? No one can replace her." The night passed slowly. The Silver Hills mansion lay in darkness, with only the faint glow from desk lamps and windows. Benjamin did not sleep. He stood by the cribs, watching the children writhe, hands resting on the crib rails, powerless. The efforts of professional nannies had failed. The house overflowed with cries, chaos, and despair. This moment, the cold room, the crying children, the failed nannies, created the emotional climax of Chapter 2, anxiety, helplessness, and despair, while laying the groundwork for Benjamin's awakening in the chapters to come. He realized that power, money, and professionalism could never replace the love and devoted care Emily had provided daily for Leo and Liam. The chapter closes with Benjamin standing silently in the nursery, dim light casting shadows on his tense face, hands gripping the crib, fully aware that the house was no longer warm in the absence of true love. This was the beginning of the journey toward redemption, healing, and rebuilding the family, a journey the audience would follow through the next chapters. Chapter 3. A Reminder from Another Heart. Benjamin Carter's CEO office sat on the top floor of the Silver Hills mansion, morning light streaming through the large windows, casting reflections on the dark walls and the glossy surface of his desk. The space was vast minimalist, each detail exuding power, business books, and journals, a high-performance laptop awards displayed with precision on shelves. But today, the office no longer radiated authority. Instead, it was heavy with silence, broken only by the faint ticking of the wall clock. Benjamin sat behind the desk, head-bowed hands clenched into fists, eyes red and weary. The cries of Leo and Liam still echoed in his mind, even though the nursery was several steps away. He inhaled deeply, trying to focus on work. But every number, every contract, every chart felt meaningless. His helplessness in front of the two children made it painfully clear no talent, no business strategy could replace the love and care Emily had once provided. The office door opened and a figure stepped inside. Harold, the loyal gardener of more than 15 years, slight but with deep knowing eyes, approached Benjamin. Wearing an old coat and holding his hat, he paused before speaking. "Mr. Carter, I need to speak with you." His voice was warm, carrying both gentleness and gravity. Benjamin looked up at Harold, a mixture of irritation and embarrassment on his face. "Not now, Harold." "I'm busy," he said stiffly, trying to maintain his authority and distance. But Harold's calm, unwavering gaze made Benjamin feel he had no choice but to listen. "Sir, it's about the boys," Harold continued, voice steady yet persuasive. Benjamin furrowed his brow, sipping his coffee, trying to maintain control. "Go on," he muttered. Though skepticism lingered in his heart, Harold stepped closer, eyes piercing Benjamin's defenses. "You were wrong to fire Emily. That's none of your business, sir. I saw everything. I saw how she cared for the boys. She loved them. She made sure they were safe, healthy, and happy. You—" He paused, drawing a breath. "You didn't see that, but I did." Benjamin's eyes widened, pride and ego flaring. "Harold, she bathed them in a metal tub. Do you really think that's okay?" He tried to steady himself, but his voice trembled slightly, revealing his inner confusion. Harold placed a hand on Benjamin's shoulder, eyes softening, yet still serious. "Yes, she did. And yes, it was unconventional. But she didn't harm them. She loved them. She thought about their comfort, their health, their happiness, before anything else. And since she left, what has happened? You've tried every nanny, every professional, every schedule. But the house, it's a mess. The boys, they're miserable. You've lost what money, power, or status could never replace." Benjamin bowed his head, hands trembling, a burning sensation spreading through his chest. He remembered every quiet morning Emily had prepared bottles, every warm towel, every gentle smile for the children. Every small detail full of warmth in a child's eyes now shook him to the core. That sacrifice and devotion could not be measured by money or power. Harold met Benjamin's gaze steadily. "Do you remember the last time you slept well? Since Emily arrived, you finally had a full night's rest. The boys were calmer, happier. You felt peace at home, even amidst the chaos of work and life. That wasn't luck. That was her love. That was her presence. And now it's gone. Benjamin inhaled sharply, feeling his heart constrict. The office was flooded with natural light from the windows, but it couldn't reach his mind at this moment. He realized that all achievements, all business deals, all sound decisions meant nothing if he lost the most important thing, the love and care for his children. Harold continued, voice firm, yet gentle. You need to set aside your pride. Go to her. Apologize. Don't think about money. Don't think about status. Go with your heart, Benjamin. If you truly want to make things right, it's your honesty and your love that matter. Benjamin stayed silent, eyes fixed on the garden outside, bathed in early morning light. The fury he had felt earlier slowly melted into regret and a clear recognition of Emily's value. She was not merely an employee. She was the one who brought comfort, happiness, and emotional growth to the children. Go with your heart. Harold repeated, voice warm as if engraving an undeniable truth. Benjamin felt each word etch into his soul, awakening the humanity that had slumbered within a powerful CEO, teaching him a lesson no amount of money or power could replace true love and sacrifice. Looking around the office, Benjamin noticed the items Emily had once arranged: bottles neatly on the shelves, soft towels folded with care, half-finished toys scattered across the floor. Each detail reminded him of the moments of peace he had once known, moments lost in a fleeting moment of anger. He took a deep breath, determination beginning to flicker in his eyes. The large office remained silent, but it was no longer utterly empty. A glimmer of hope penetrated Benjamin's mind. He knew he had to act to apologize to Emily, to make amends. The journey of redemption, healing, and bringing love back to this home began in this very moment. Chapter 3 closes with Benjamin standing by his desk, morning light streaming through the window onto his resolute face hands, trembling yet filled with hope, marking a turning point for the chapters ahead. Harold's reminder had awakened him to the true value of love and sacrifice, a lesson no money could ever buy. Chapter 4 Silent Evidence. Cold light from the clinic lamps fell over each hospital bed, reflecting on the faces of the children in their cribs. The scent of antiseptic mixed with the warmth of the heaters, creating an atmosphere that was both sterile and tense. Leo and Liam lay curled up, eyes red occasionally, letting out weak whimpers. Fever shook their small bodies, while emotional stress cast an anxiety far beyond their age in their eyes. The room, once quiet, now echoed, with soft cries mingling with the beeps of monitors, tracking heart rates and oxygen levels. Benjamin stood by the crib, hands clenched, trying to maintain his composure. He had never seen his children like this, never felt such helplessness. Tools, skills, and corporate management knowledge offered no solution. Each breath the boys took reminded him that he had been wrong to fire Emily. Dr. Felix Rivera, the pediatrician who had cared for the boys since birth, entered the room. An older man with deep, experienced eyes and a stern yet seasoned face, he leaned down, observing every tiny detail: skin tone, breathing gaze, subtle reactions of the children. Benjamin sensed a level of attentive care far beyond that of any professional nanny he had hired. Benjamin, we need to be honest. Dr. Rivera began, voice calm but firm. The boys, they are not just physically unwell. Their immune systems are compromised. They are emotionally devastated. Each word struck Benjamin like a heavy hammer to the heart. Benjamin exhaled shakily, hands gripping the crib edge. I don't understand. What do you mean by emotionally devastated? His voice strained anxiety spilling over from within. Dr. Rivera sat beside Liam's crib, placing a gentle hand on the boy's shoulder. These boys have severe separation anxiety. They formed a strong emotional bond with Emily. When she was abruptly removed from their environment, it caused intense stress. He flipped through the medical notes pointing to the records. Look at their vitals over the past few days. Elevated heart rates, disrupted sleep, poor appetite. What should have been minor colds turned into more serious conditions, pneumonia risks, weakened immunity, all because of emotional vulnerability. Benjamin lowered his head, tears beginning to trail down his cheeks. Every number, every previous argument in his mind seemed meaningless in the face of this reality. He witnessed the consequences of his impulsive decision. The two children he had thought could be replaced by any nanny were now enduring long days and nights filled with loneliness and anxiety. Dr. Rivera continued voice sinking into Benjamin's awareness. Before Emily came, we struggled with allergies, reflux, sleepless nights. She didn't just feed or bathe them. She created stability, nurtured trust, and safety. Those are essential for development. And Benjamin, you fired her because she bathed them in a metal tub. Benjamin remained silent, each word landing heavily. Images of the children crying in the cold room. Professional nannies unable to soothe them, all of his efforts. Failing his chest, tightened, as if suffocating. Benjamin Dr. Rivera placed a steady hand on his shoulder, voice firm yet gentle. I've seen wealthy children raised with everything except love. They grow up empty, detached, but I've also seen children bathed in buckets under challenging conditions who radiate joy and security because they were loved, truly loved. Benjamin's eyes flickered memories, flashing vividly. Emily beside the old metal tub, laughing with Leo, and Liam hands, brushing their hair gentle embraces. Everything he had once deemed dangerous now stood as a testament to complete safe and loving care. Dr. Rivera, I fired her. Benjamin choked out, voice thick with emotion, because she bathed them in a metal tub. I thought I was protecting them. The doctor shook his head, gaze soft but unwavering. You were protecting your pride, not your children. Love is not something to be questioned or measured by appearances. These boys, they needed Emily. And now you see why. Benjamin bowed his head, hands trembling. Each tear that fell was an awakening. Every whimper from the children, a reminder he had lost the most precious thing in his life because of anger and arrogance. The boys lay quiet in Dr. Rivera's arms, eyes half closed, but even small gestures reflected lingering tension and insecurity. Benjamin stood by the crib, silent, torn between pain and realization. He understood now that no management method, schedule, or money could replace the love-devoted care and presence Emily had provided. The room was bathed in cold light, yet a spark of hope kindled within Benjamin. He looked at Dr. Rivera, voice trembling, but determined. I have to fix this. I need to make it right. Dr. Rivera nodded, voice firm. Go to her, Benjamin. Don't wait. The boys need her, and you owe her an apology, not for convenience, not for money, but for the truth, for love. Benjamin gazed at Leo and Liam, eyes brimming with tears, feeling pain and clarity coursing through him. This was his true awakening. Everything he once valued, all power and wealth, meant nothing without love, care, and loyalty. Chapter 4 closes with Benjamin standing beside the children's crib, hands resting on the railing, light streaming through the window onto his tense but determined face. Astonishment and emotion flooded him, marking the start of his journey toward redemption, healing and reconnecting with Emily, the path leading to the next emotional climax of the story. Chapter 5 Realizing his mistake. Night had fallen over the Silver Hills mansion, and the nursery was shrouded in darkness. The soft glow from a few bedside lamps offered gentle light, but could not dispel the chill that filled the vast room. The wooden floors reflected the crib's shadows, and inside each crib, Leo and Liam curled up, trembling sweat dotting their foreheads, eyes red and weary. A mild fever left their bodies limp, while emotional tension made every small movement appear fragile and uneasy. Benjamin Carter stood at the doorway, hands trembling and clenched chest tight with an ache he had never known. He had faced million-dollar deals, hundreds of investors, yet now confronted with the vulnerability and helplessness of two small children. All his leadership skills and authority felt meaningless. Soft whimpers, mixed with faint cries, echoed through the room, making it feel suffocating, as if the walls themselves pressed in on him with the weight of his helplessness. He stepped closer to each crib, eyes locked on the children. Leo reached out, trying to grasp the empty hand of his absent caregiver. Liam whimpered, spitting up milk, yet no one was there to hold him to soothe him. Benjamin drew a shaky breath, placing his hand on Leo's shoulder, heart contracting. He realized this was not just physical illness, it was the emotional pain, the sense of loss the children were enduring in Emily's absence. Images of Emily's presence flooded his mind. Soft towels, neatly arranged bottles, toys carefully organized, every small detail, creating stability and safety for the children. Emily had cared not only for their physical needs, but had built trust and love, things no professional nanny could replace. Benjamin bent down closer, placing a hand on Liam's shoulder, eyes filled with regret. He felt every tiny whimper, every weak cry, every frightened gaze. Remorse gripped him like an invisible hand, dragging him into a chasm of self-reproach. I've been wrong, he whispered, voice trembling. I shouldn't have sent her away. In the quiet room, with only the children's faint breaths filling the air, Benjamin stood still, absorbing the truth. He realized that all wealth, all authority, all rigid control were meaningless without love and devoted care. Emily was the only one who had brought that someone he had dismissed because of a fleeting judgment about a metal tub in the garden. He recalled the first time he saw Emily bathing the boys. Her gentle gaze, meticulous attention to every detail. At that moment, he had judged her hastily, measuring by his own standards. Now confronted with the painful consequences, Benjamin understood that pride and ego had overshadowed reason and love. Leo's cries grew louder, echoing through the room, jolting Benjamin. He stepped forward and gathered both children into his arms, hands trembling but striving to stay steady. In these moments, he felt the weight of his mistake vividly. Each tear of the children struck his heart. Each feeble whimper reminded him of his responsibility and error. He moved around the room, checking every crib bottle and blanket. Every object recalled Emily, her careful attention, her dedication, her genuine love. No professional skill could make up for her absence. Benjamin stood silently realizing that his mistake was not merely a poor decision, it was the direct cause of the suffering the children now endured. Night slowly passed the light from the window, casting soft shadows across Benjamin's face, highlighting tear-stained eyes filled with determination. He inhaled deeply, feeling every heartbeat, every faint breath of the children, and knew the time had come to make amends. He stepped out of the room, heavy-hearted, yet with resolve shining in his eyes. This was the moment of awakening. He must find Emily, apologize, and bring her back to heal the wounds he had caused. Benjamin lingered in the hallway, looking back at the nursery one last time. The cries continued, but now he understood his role. No longer was he just a powerful CEO, standing above everything. He was a father, facing the real responsibility to provide love and safety for his children. He lowered his head, inhaled deeply, and whispered to himself, "I will make this right." No pride, no excuses, only truth and love. The mansion remained quiet, but inside, Benjamin, a spark of hope ignited. He knew the journey to redemption, healing, and reconnecting with Emily would be difficult, yet his determination was unwavering. Every step, every word, every action from now on would have one goal: to bring Emily back, heal the children, and mend his own heart. Chapter 5 closes with Benjamin standing by the nursery door, hands trembling as they rested on the crib, the dim lamplight casting his remorseful yet resolute face. The audience senses his soul stirring deep regret, and the pivotal turning point leading into Chapter 6, when Benjamin begins his quest to contact Emily and confront the consequences of his actions directly. Chapter 6 The Search for Love. Late afternoon. Sunlight filtered through the leaves, creating shimmering patches on the stone path leading to Mrs. Altha's house. The air was quiet, so still that every step echoed, and Benjamin's heart pounded with each one. He had never felt such tension before, never faced a moment where the power, wealth, and confidence of a CEO felt utterly meaningless. His electric car remained parked at the gate, but Benjamin chose to walk. Each step over the cobblestones carried anticipation, remorse, and the fragile hope that Emily would listen. Harold's words echoed in his mind: "Go with your heart, not your wallet." If you truly want to make things right, it's your honesty and your love that matter. Money could not buy redemption. He had to act with truth and heart. The path to Mrs. Altha's home was short, but to Benjamin it felt endless. Every tree flower and chirping bird seemed to mirror the chaos inside him. He took a deep breath, hand trembling as he rested it on his chest, striving to steady himself. Each step was a heartbeat, reminding him that the most important things in life were not work or wealth, but love and responsibility. The wooden gate of Mrs. Altha's house appeared draped with vibrant purple bougainvillea. Benjamin paused, studying the flowers glowing in the evening light. In that moment, he realized Emily lived a simple yet vibrant life, far different from anything he had imagined. He inhaled deeply, pressed the doorbell, emphasizing each press before slowly withdrawing his hand. The door opened, and Mrs. Altha's sharp yet steady gaze met his instantly. She stood with hands on her hips, stern but observant. "What do you want?" Her voice was firm, carrying a challenge. Benjamin swallowed, voice trembling but resolute. I I'd like to speak to Emily. She raised an eyebrow, skeptical. You here to offer her money? Benjamin shook his head, speaking gently but sincerely. No. I'm here to apologize, to beg her to come back. My boys, they're sick. They need her. Mrs. Altha remained silent, studying him. But after a moment, she seemed to recognize the sincerity in his eyes. She slightly smiled and stepped aside, opening the way. She's in the back with the children, but don't expect this to be easy. Benjamin walked across the yard, inhaling deeply. The back of the house radiated warmth from children's laughter, the scent of baked bread, and soft light from the windows. He heard Emily's gentle singing, peaceful notes that clashed with the turmoil in his heart, reminding him of the days he had lost. Emily sat on a wooden chair, holding one child in her arms. Two others played on the floor with a makeshift swing made from rope and a wooden plank. When she saw Benjamin, her eyes sharpened, alert, but not angry, as if preparing to face someone who had entered her world with nothing but truth to offer. Benjamin stopped before her, hand on his chest, trying to steady his breath. Emily, I'm sorry, he said, voice trembling, but sincere. I was wrong, completely wrong. She looked at him, tired eyes, lips pressed tight. After what you said to me, you think an apology is enough? He bowed his head, voice steady, yet deep. No, it's not. I'm not here to justify anything. I want a chance to fix this. Not for me, but for Leo and Liam. They need you. I need to make this right. Emily remained silent, eyes on Benjamin, a hint of worry and confusion in her gaze. She remembered the cries, the tears, and the loneliness the children had just endured. Part of her wanted to trust him, yet the trust had been hurt. Benjamin stepped closer, determination in his eyes. I know I failed them. I failed you. But I'm here now, with nothing but the truth and love. Please, give me a chance to make things right. A single moment stretched like an eternity. Emily stayed quiet, only watching him. The children's laughter and the creak of the swing filled the room, but could not dispel the tense, hopeful atmosphere. Finally, she exhaled, stood and said, I'm not promising to come back, but I want to see the twins. I'll go with you, not because I forgive you, but because I love them. Benjamin felt his heart melt in that instant. He nodded, saying nothing further. The journey of redemption had begun. Each step he took alongside Emily toward the car was a heartbeat full of anxious, fragile, yet sincere hope. On the way to the hospital, they rode in silence, not coldly, but with both lost in thought. Benjamin spoke little, keeping just enough distance for Emily to sense his sincerity. Emily remained quiet, giving space to worry for the children and to the tension of what lay ahead. Upon arriving at the hospital, bright lights flooded the children's private room. Leo and Liam lay curled up, eyes half closed. The moment Emily stepped in, the boys awoke instantly. Seeing her familiar face, their cries burst forth. Emily knelt, holding both children tightly, tears falling silently, each droplet a balm for the pain they had endured. Benjamin stood behind them, watching, feeling both pain and joy. He understood that no apology could replace love and devotion, but this moment proved that true love could heal even the deepest wounds. Chapter 6 closes with Benjamin and Emily holding the children together, warm sunlight streaming through the window onto the three of them. Hope, tension, and apprehension dissolve, marking a pivotal turning point for Chapter 7, when the family begins to reunite and rebuild their happiness. Chapter 7, Reconnection. The pediatric nursery was bathed in warm light from the ceiling fixtures and sunlight streaming through the windows. The faint scent of antiseptic lingered, but the tension that had filled the room earlier had eased. Leo and Liam lay in their separate beds, small bodies curled up, eyes half closed, yet still shining with childlike innocence. Their temperatures remained elevated sweat dotting their foreheads. But this time, there was no overwhelming panic, only the fatigue of bodies and minds worn from stress. Emily Reyes entered the room. She bent down, eyes soft and full of tenderness as she looked at the children. Every small gesture radiated the love and care that had become second nature to her. Light fell across her face, highlighting a warmth and gentleness that only a true mother could bring. She looked at Leo and Liam, heart tightening at the sight of their fatigue and frailty worry flooding her chest. "Hi, my little ones," Emily said softly, her voice warm yet trembling with concern. At the sound of her voice, the boys' eyes opened, recognition sparking. Liam whimpered, reaching out while Leo glanced at her lips quivering. Tears began to stream down Emily's cheeks, not from despair, but from the joy of being reunited with the children she loved. She knelt, opening her arms wide. "I missed you so much," she whispered. Leo slowly crawled toward her small hands, reaching out, while Liam, weakly whimpering, but unable to contain his emotion, lunged into Emily's embrace. This time, their cries were not of panic, but a release of long-suppressed emotions. She held them tightly, stroking each lock of hair, each arm, each small hand, creating a sense of absolute safety. Benjamin stood behind her hands, resting on the bed rail, silently observing. He realized that no professional skill or wealth could replace these moments. Genuine love and devotion were the only forces capable of healing emotional and psychological wounds. Gradually, warmth spread in his eyes, heart swelling with happiness, yet tinged with regret for past mistakes. Emily continued to hold the children, whispering gently, "It's okay. Mommy is here now. Everything's okay." Her words acted as a bridge of comfort, helping the boys feel safety and unconditional love. Slowly, Leo and Liam stopped crying, eyes lighting up with trust and joy at being back in the arms of their familiar caregiver. The room became quiet, but not tense, quiet in the sense of relief and healing. Every measured breath, every gentle embrace, every caress from Emily brought peace, soothing the psychological wounds the boys had endured. Benjamin felt the change in the atmosphere. Clearly, warmth spread through the room, transforming the once cold hospital space into a haven filled with love. After a while, Benjamin stepped closer, voice low and warm. "Emily, thank you. I was wrong. I never understood until now." Emily looked at him, eyes soft but cautious. "It's not about thanks, Benjamin. It's about them. About the boys. That's all that matters." The scene. Benjamin standing quietly, Emily holding the children warm, light streaming through the window, created a powerful emotional highlight. Genuine love and dedication can heal all wounds, even those caused by adult mistakes. The audience could feel the recovery, the quiet joy, and the sense of healing filling the space. Emily gently placed the boys back in their beds, holding each hand and looking deeply into their eyes. "You're safe now. Everything will be fine. I promise." Leo offered a small smile, and Liam even wiggled slightly on the bed. These small gestures spoke volumes. The children were recognizing the love and presence of their familiar caregiver. Benjamin watched heart slowly melting, realizing that everything he had once valued, power, wealth, prestige, was meaningless without love and genuine care. He stepped closer, leaning down, placing a hand lightly on Emily's shoulder, careful not to disturb the children, respecting her space and presence. One look was enough to convey his remorse, sincerity, and determination to make things right. Emily closed her eyes briefly, sensing Benjamin's sincerity. She inhaled deeply and nodded gently. "Let's focus on them. That's the most important thing." Benjamin nodded in return, eyes filled with feeling, sensing for the first time true empathy and cooperation from Emily. The three of them stood there quiet, but the silence was no longer tense. It was warm, peaceful, and hopeful. Leo and Liam held Emily's hands tightly, feeling safe and loved. Benjamin watched the scene, heart slowing, understanding that mistakes could always be repaired with sincerity, patience, and genuine love. This moment also opened a new chapter. Emily was no longer just a caregiver, but the center of love and stability for the family. Benjamin realized that to fully atone, he would need to act more than with words. He would have to support and walk alongside Emily in caring for the children. Emily led Leo and Liam closer to Benjamin, allowing him to feel their breathing and health without intervening in her embrace. Light streamed down on the three of them, standing together, symbolizing reconnection, healing, and hope. The audience could clearly feel the happiness, warmth, and the gradual replacement of previous pain with joy and peace. Chapter 7 closes with Emily holding the children, Benjamin standing nearby, sunlight from the window illuminating the three faces. Viewers can sense the healing happiness and the belief that love, sincerity, and loyalty can mend all wounds, setting the stage for the next chapters. Family restoration, rebuilding, happiness, and creating a new home together. Chapter 8 Building a New Family. Early morning sunlight filtered through the leafy canopy in the Silver Hills garden, casting sparkling patches of light on the lush green grass. The air was fresh and gentle, a stark contrast to the tension and silence that had filled the mansion before. The vast house, once cold with the weight of power and loneliness, now seemed warmed by the presence of love and devoted care. Emily Reyes stepped out of the car, hands lightly holding a small suitcase with her personal belongings. She surveyed the mansion with cautious yet determined eyes. Happiness mingled with anticipation in her chest. She was not returning just to care for the children, but also for the opportunity to build a true home with Benjamin, a place where love and care came first. Benjamin greeted Emily at the garden gate, a gentle, warm smile on his face. Words were unnecessary. His gaze and gestures conveyed everything: sincerity, partnership, and determination to support Emily in settling in and caring for the children. She returned a soft smile, sensing his support. This was their first step on a journey together, no longer divided by power or wealth, but united by love and responsibility. The wide garden, with blooming flower pots, wooden chairs in the shade, and cobblestone paths, radiated warmth and friendliness. Emily moved to each crib, embracing the children, stroking their hair, and speaking softly. "Good morning, my little ones," she said, voice gentle eyes filled with affection. The children immediately recognized her eyes, lighting up giggles, escaping tiny hands, reaching for her. It was a magical moment. Emily's familiar love and presence healed some of the pain the children had endured. Benjamin watched nearby and gradually began to participate. He took bottles, listened as Emily guided him, learning to soothe comfort and bring peace to the children. Small actions, adjusting blankets, handing bottles, guiding the children around the garden, were performed with respect and sincerity. The audience could clearly sense Benjamin's transformation from a powerful, distant father to a gentle, devoted partner in raising the children. Together, Emily and Benjamin organized the morning in the garden, preparing breakfast for the children, checking clothing, playing with the kids. Every detail carried warmth. Laughter echoed across the yard, sunlight illuminated the children's faces, and joy filled the air. Emily taught Benjamin small yet vital gestures, like soothing a crying child, speaking to make them feel safe, and observing the children to anticipate needs before they were voiced. Benjamin learned quickly, shedding distance and pride. He gradually became the perfect support for Emily, positioning flower pots to create shade-cleaning tables, guiding the children around the yard, caring for their personal belongings. Every action arose from sincerity without explanation or showmanship. Only genuine love and responsibility were conveyed through each gesture. The children gradually became more cheerful, secure, and natural. Leo and Liam held Emily's hands as they ran around the garden laughing, while other children in the family, Noah, Lily, Ava, joined in the fun, creating a lively yet warm scene. Every laugh, every step, every gentle hug dissolved memories of past pain. Emily looked at Benjamin, eyes soft yet watchful. See, it's not just about feeding or bathing them. It's about presence, about love, about being consistent, she said, gently voice, warm and calm. Benjamin nodded, eyes filled with resolve. I understand now, and I'm here to help always. Together they arranged the garden, put toys in place, tidied small items, creating a friendly, warm, and safe environment for the children. Every small action had a positive effect. The children felt care, presence, and love gradually becoming calmer and happier. At one point, Emily sat down with the children gathered around her, stroking each one and whispering softly, "Everything will be fine. Mommy's here, Daddy's here, you're safe." Sunlight streamed through the trees, illuminating the children's faces, and Emily's creating a perfect scene of warmth and serenity. The audience could clearly sense healing love and happiness filling the space. Benjamin observed a sense of peace rising within him like never before. He realized that all power, money, and strategy could not replace this moment, the moment when a family truly reunited, when love and care took precedence. Emily and Benjamin gradually fell into sync, no distance between them. Every action from Benjamin was guided by sincerity, and every gesture from Emily was supported by him, forming perfect cooperation. No words were needed. A glance, a gesture conveyed understanding between them and for the children. Chapter 8 closes with Emily holding the children in the garden, Benjamin standing nearby, assisting and supporting. Morning sunlight streamed through the leaves, shining on the three of them, creating a scene of peace, happiness, and healing. This moment marked the beginning of complete family restoration, where love, devotion, and partnership formed a solid foundation for future happiness. Chapter 9. A Happy Family. Early morning sunlight filtered through the trees at Silver Hills, shining onto the sprawling garden. The air was filled with birdsong, the scent of dew-covered grass, and the fragrance of vibrant purple bougainvillea. The children, Leo Liam, Noah Lily, and Ava, ran across the yard, laughter echoing through the space, mingling with the rustling of leaves and the gentle creak of the makeshift swing. The wide garden, with stone steps, flower pots, and neat walkways, provided a safe and friendly environment for the children to explore. Emily Reyes stood in the center of the yard, eyes soft as she smoothed the hair of each child running past her hands, tireless gaze filled with love and patience. Every gesture, from adjusting Liam's hat, stroking Leo's back, to arranging Noah's toys, radiated unconditional love, something no money or power could ever replace. Benjamin Carter stepped into the yard, holding a basket of balls and a few toys, watching the children with warmth and anticipation. He had learned to coordinate with Emily, not only to assist in caring for the children, but also to gradually rebuild trust and affection between himself and the kids. He tossed a ball lightly to Noah, laughing as the boy caught it, then flicked it gently toward Liam. Laughter echoed across the garden, creating a joyful, harmonious rhythm. The morning began with small but meaningful activities. Emily prepared breakfast outdoors: bread, fresh fruit, and warm milk. The children gathered around the picnic table, eyes bright with joy. Benjamin helped Emily lay out the food, slice fruit, and prepare milk. This simple moment became special. There was no distance between them, only love, cooperation, and family happiness. After breakfast, the children were free to play. Leo and Liam ran around trying to catch butterflies, giggling as Benjamin gently blocked their path to prevent collisions with plants. Noah and Ava played with a small wooden boat in the shallow pond, while Lily sat under a tree, drawing with chalk. Emily sat nearby, guiding them gently, smiling softly, occasionally brushing Lily's hair as she focused on her drawing. The scene was lively and warm. Everyone could feel clearly this was a family not just by blood, but through care, love, and daily presence. The audience could sense joy, safety, and healing in every small gesture and every child's smile. Benjamin joined in the play, building sandcastles with Leo and Liam, listening to their innocent questions about the world. He laughed, answered, and comforted them when they struggled. Emily stood nearby, occasionally showing Benjamin how to hold or soothe the children properly, allowing him to learn how to become part of the family. At noon, the family tidied the garden together. Benjamin learned to organize toys, while Emily guided the children in picking up fallen leaves and caring for plants. These seemingly simple activities created strong bonds among them. Every glance, every smile, every small act of care contributed to building a solid family connection. Next, Emily took the children on a tour of the back garden. They explored plants, caught insects, observed birds, and laughed as Benjamin attempted comically to catch butterflies. The children held hands with each other, held Emily's hand, and sometimes Benjamin's, forming an image of a complete family, bonded not only by affection, but by shared experiences. In the afternoon, the family returned to the house. Emily prepared a light tea. Benjamin helped carry cakes, fruit, and drinks. The children sat around the table, laughter mingling with conversation, no longer tense or fearful. Benjamin learned to listen, wait for the children to finish speaking, and respect their creativity and ideas. Emily smiled at him, recognizing that he had truly changed, no longer the distant, authoritative father, but a warm, devoted companion. As the sun set, golden light streamed through the windows, softening the garden and the house. The children gathered around Emily and Benjamin, sharing stories, laughing, and sometimes sitting quietly together, feeling safe. Emily placed a hand on Benjamin's shoulder, closing her eyes briefly to sense his presence and steady breathing. Benjamin looked at her eyes, gentle, smiling softly, realizing they had rebuilt a true family full of love and responsibility. In the evening, Emily and Benjamin read to the children before bed. Each child rested in the arms of their caregiver, eyes bright with trust and security. Benjamin learned to tell stories in a warm, calming voice, adding humorous touches that made the children laugh. Emily observed him, sensing genuine cooperation and love. Laughter echoed, filling the space with warmth, peace, and healing. Chapter 9 closes with the family gathered around the dinner table, golden light illuminating each joyful face. Laughter, conversation, and small gestures, stroking hair, holding hands, placing hands on shoulders, created a space filled with joy, happiness, and a true sense of family. The audience could clearly feel the deep healing a family formed, not only by blood, but through love, patience, and daily presence. Chapter 10 Complete Love. Sunset descended over the Silver Hills mansion, casting a soft amber glow through the windows onto the tree-shaded garden and warm-colored walls. The air was gentle calm, yet full of joyful energy. The laughter and footsteps of the children blended with the rustle of leaves, creating a natural, lively symphony filled with peace. Emily stood in the kitchen, hand resting on her belly, smiling softly. She was pregnant, her eyes glowing with joy and hope. The miracle of new life warmed her heart like never before. She swept her hand across the food prepared for the family dinner, pausing briefly at a freshly baked cake, the aroma evoking memories of caring for the children in simpler, tender times. Benjamin entered gently, taking Emily's hand, his eyes warm and sincere. "You're glowing," he said, voice filled with warmth. Emily smiled softly, cheeks flushed under the sunset light filtering into the kitchen. "It's not me. It's all of us. All of this, it's love that makes it feel real." Outside, the children continued to play. Leo and Liam ran around, small hands, outstretched eyes shining with happiness, laughter mingling with Noah, Lily, and Ava. Every step, every hug, every soft word radiated warmth. Benjamin watched them, heart full of happiness and gratitude. He realized that every previous effort and late realization had been rewarded with joy and peace. Emily stepped into the yard, and the children ran to embrace her. Laughter echoed sunset light, casting a glow on every face, creating a picture-perfect scene. Emily gently stroked their hair occasionally, glancing down at her belly, feeling the baby's heartbeat growing stronger. These moments were utterly peaceful, complete and overflowing with happiness, the very feeling she had once dreamed of, but never dared imagine. Benjamin joined in the play, tossing balls and holding the children's hands as they ran around the yard, yet always attentive to Emily. He smiled and spoke softly. "I'll do my best to be here, not just for the kids, but for you too." Emily looked at him, eyes glistening in the sunset light, sensing his sincere companionship. This was no longer a boss-employee relationship. It was a real family sharing responsibility, love, and joy. Dinner was served outdoors on a long table big enough for everyone. Sunset light bathed the table, reflecting on each glowing face. The children chatted excitedly, telling stories about their day, laughing over the games they had played. Benjamin placed his hand on Emily's, smiling, while Emily rested her hand on her belly, gently feeling the baby's heartbeat. The space was filled with peace, happiness, and healing. After dinner, Emily led the children into the garden, where a swing and outdoor toys awaited. Leo and Liam ran to wrap their arms around Emily, while Noah, Lily, and Ava played around them, laughter echoing across the yard. Benjamin stood nearby, watching their movements, occasionally helping to comfort the children, adjust toys, and assist Emily in observing them more easily. Emily paused for a moment, looking at Benjamin. "We've come a long way, haven't we?" Benjamin nodded, eyes warm. "Yes, and we're not done yet. Every day, we build this family together." The moment carried a message. True love not only heals the past, but also lays a strong foundation for the future. As evening deepened and the sunset light faded, the family gathered together. Emily told fairy tales, Benjamin added humorous touches, and the children laughed. Leo hugged Liam. Noah shared a clumsy story. Ava bounced, while Lily illustrated her drawing. These small, simple moments created a perfect family scene, not materially perfect, but complete in love, care, and togetherness. Emily rested her hand on her belly again, whispering softly, "You're going to meet your siblings soon. We can't wait." Benjamin stood beside her hand, over hers, eyes full of hope. "And we'll be here always, every step, every day." The scene was simple, yet deeply emotional, a message of healing companionship and genuine love, overcoming every hardship. Chapter 10 closes with the family standing in the garden sunset, light illuminating their faces. Emily cradled her belly. The children embraced each other, and Benjamin stood close, gaze tender. Laughter, hugs, exchanged glances, and their full presence created a scene of ultimate happiness, sending a clear message: true love, devoted care, and constant presence are the foundation of family happiness. The audience could feel the joy, peace, and hope radiating, proof that everyone deserves love, and every wound, no matter how deep, can be healed through love, companionship, and sincerity. As the sun set over silver hills, golden light bathed the expansive garden where the family gathered. The outdoor table was filled with simple yet warm dishes. The aroma of breadfruit and hot soup wafting through the air. Emily sat among the children, stroking their hair, smiling gently. They giggled and shared stories of the day, interspersed with playful antics and affectionate gestures. Leo putting an arm around Liam, Ava bouncing as Lily illustrated a story, Noah running with a ball across the yard. Benjamin stood nearby, hands intertwined with Emily's, eyes tender and full of joy. He occasionally bent down to help arrange chairs, clear dishes, or simply watch them play, a broad smile on his face. Every action, no matter how small, reflected presence and genuine love, not power or wealth, but true togetherness. This simple moment, family gathered, sharing a meal, laughing, talking, created a sense of stillness, peace, and happiness. Every glance, every hug, every word reflected a message: love can heal all wounds, transcend wealth and status, and teach people to value what truly matters in one another. Emily placed a hand on her belly, smiling softly. This is our family, and our love will always guide us. Benjamin hugged her from behind, whispering, "Together, we've built something real, something lasting." The children giggled and winked, blending into the warm atmosphere of the yard, allowing the audience to feel completeness and fulfillment. The camera slowly pulls back, showing the family gathered around the outdoor table, sunset light bathing the scene, creating a vivid tableau of love, simple happiness, and healing. Laughter echoed, warm light spread, and peace enveloped the space, leaving the audience with the full message of the story. True love, devoted care, and sincere presence are the unshakable foundations of family happiness. Finally, a warm female voice is heard. If this story touched your heart, comment the city you live in. Rate it from 0 to 10, subscribe, and watch more inspiring stories. Love always heals, and every heart deserves to be loved. The scene closes with the family's silhouettes, bathed in the fading sunset, united and full of warmth, happiness, and inspiration.